Good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back. How's everyone doing this morning? Hopefully good. Buenos días. Wait a few minutes. Yeah. Yesterday's plan was absolutely perfect. 39.40 hold to 39.70. 39.70 rejection is awesome. That was awesome. So, welcome back. Hope everyone had a good day yesterday. Nice downside move off that SPY rejection, that 39.70. That was the level we talked about here in the stream yesterday. It was absolutely textbook. Really nice rejection. SPY 200 SMA rejection. Gorgeous. I mean, it was just an awesome day. Really ugly morning. Just that slow zombie grind, as I like to call it. And got a little chopped up in there. Tried to take some upside on Tesla. It didn't move with the market. Took a little bit of upside with Meta. Not a bad win. But overall, I was red in the first half of the day. KRE swing was nice. Took profits on those. And then back half of the day, longer than I typically trade. I typically will not be trading around the time that this started to set up. But as I saw the SPY approach that 200, I couldn't step away, right? It was too interesting. So took those puts at that SPY 200 SMA, and it's all history from there. So nice day yesterday. Hope you guys caught a piece of that, maybe that end of day downside. And this morning, what do you know? We're rejecting the same level, 39.70. So some interesting stuff going on this morning. European banks look to be in the shitter. Credit Suisse is causing a lot of concern here this morning. So definitely watching some banks today to see if that panic starts to set in again. Goldman Sachs is down pretty big. JP Morgan's down pretty big. So I think there is maybe there is some opportunity here on those banks once again. Definitely something that I will be watching today. What else? We got PPI this morning. We got retail sales this morning. So we got a lot of stuff going on here in the market. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting morning here. So let's get it started. Welcome back, guys. Hope you're having a good morning. If you guys could, before we start, press that like button. That would be nice. Just one click of the like button goes a long way. All right. So today, 3/15, March 15th, economic earnings calendar. Let's go ahead and pop up that economic calendar. Earnings calendar is pretty irrelevant at this point, so I'm not looking at that today. Here it is, Wednesday, 8:30, retail sales. That is our first, those are the first numbers we'll get here. Retail sales and then PPI, right? PPI is at 8:30 as well. So let's see how this sets up, right? Let's see how this sets up. Expectation for PPI is 0.4, the core, and then the non-core is 0.3, and then retail sales is expected to be down. X autos expected to be flat. So they're expecting the autos to be down. They're expecting autos to be driving that retail sales negative. All right. Why am I reluctant to trade a little later in the day? Because I value my time. Eric, I don't like to sit around the computer all day. I actually heard this online yesterday, just scrolling through Instagram. Someone was saying the same thing. And I talked about this in a previous live stream. If you're sitting around trading all day, the likelihood of you is losing, right? It's like in that regard, it's like a casino. The longer you sit around and trade all day, the longer you expose yourself to algorithms, the longer you expose yourself to moves that are most likely to fake you out. It's not in your best interest to sit and watch the market all day. You get in, you get out, you walk away with a piece. It's a game changer. Trust me. So that's I also value my day. I value my freedom. I don't like to sit in front of the computer all day. And so that's why I don't like to trade later in the day. All right. So that's PPI. That is retail sales. Let's continue on our schedule. GS, JP Morgan, XLF, we got to look at banks. We got to look at banks today. Huge stuff. Tesla 179 retest. NVIDIA triple top. Man, if there's ever a time for NVIDIA to start lose this ridiculous strength that it has, it's got to be coming up here soon. If the market starts to fall here a little bit more due to this bank stuff, if we start to see some downside step in, a little bit of panic step in here, NVIDIA's got to find the top at some point. So I am not taking my eyes off NVIDIA a single day over the next few weeks. NVIDIA has been very, very reluctant to drop. I don't think that will last forever. So there is opportunity here on NVIDIA. I'm not going to get into it before the technicals tell me to, but this is something that I am not going to look away from. Apple 151 level, keeping an eye on that. Apple has some connection to Deutsche Bank, so I am interested to see if Apple gets a little hit today because of that Deutsche Bank connection. Netflix under 300, really, really aggressive rejections at 300. Meta 190, and then finally that TSM bear flag is still setting up. I would still be watching that. All right. So that's what we're going to look at today. Let's get started. Here's the ES. All right, here's the ES, and it pretty much did exactly what we wanted it to do. I mean, it did the exact thing right here. So previous lows, right? This is not, and I said this in my video yesterday, this is not rocket science. This is not difficult to see. Like, it's not hard to read where these rejections come in. It comes down to trust in technicals, trust in your trading strategy, emotional control, conviction in the play, right? That's what it comes down to. Everyone in this live stream, everyone out there knew that we rejected here on Friday, or Sunday into Monday. They knew we rejected on the SPY. It rejected previously as well, but they knew we rejected here, and they knew this was a previous low. They also knew this was the 100 SMA and the 200 SMA. It's not very difficult to read, but what you need to have is some confidence, right? You have to have confidence that the supply level could react negatively. They have to have confidence if they take a trade that they're going to try to maintain the position. They have to be convicted, right? That's all it takes. It's just a little bit of confidence, a little bit of conviction. It's not hard to find these levels. If you come to the live stream, they're here every day. So previous low into a double top rejection. You guys can see yesterday we had this slide higher into that double top rejection area at 39.70, 100 SMA, 200 SMA, and we had a very nice rejection of that. So nice downside move off that 39.70. We popped back into it into the after hours, and look at what happened once again. We popped back into it, and boom. So is there any situation where you want to, is there a situation where you really want to be long under 39.70? Maybe. But I just simply am going to probably be a little cautious of that. I don't see why you'd get too aggressive on the longs if you are below this level, right? It's clear as day. There is no willingness to get over this 39.70 right now. And, to go long under this level just seems, it's a possible short-term opportunity, but it's very much against the grain. So it's a little bit tough there. The level to be watching as of now, right now that we've rejected that 39.70, let me go ahead and zoom in because you're going to see this level on the 30-minute, and it's starting to reject as we speak. You can see right here, this 38.85 level. This is a key level today. 38.85 right here, 38.85 right here, 38.85 right here, 38.85 right here, 38.85 right here. And today, you can see we got under 38.85, and now we're trading below 38.85. If we get stuck under 38.85 today, I would expect more downside, right? If this turns into a rejection point today, if we cannot get back above 38.85 and we start to see rejection step in at this level, I would expect the test of the lows, 38.40 right here. This is where I would expect the SPY or the ES to try to trade back into. That is if the 38.85 turns into a rejection today. If we are able to regain 38.85, let's say we open the market around here, right? Let's say the market's trading around 3,900 at open today. You cannot short into 38.85, right? You can't take a short here because your short risk reward is this. This is your risk reward on the short side. If you short into 38.85 on a trade that's not just like a little scalp and you're going to let it work, here's your risk to reward right here, right? It just doesn't make sense. So if we open back over 38.85, you do not take this trade. You're not taking a 1 to 10 risk reward. Doesn't make any sense. What you'd look for, if you want to short the market, is you'd look for this to come back under 38.85 and turn it into a rejection point. Then you could sell it off to 38.85 as your stop loss. Then you have proper risk management. Then you have proper risk to reward, right? So I want to see 38.85 turn into a rejection today. If it does, I think you get some slippery downside. That would be really the ideal setup for me today. If you get back above 38.85 at open, you could try the demand bounce. You could try it. It's possible, right? It's possible to try the demand hold at 38.85 today. But with some of the things going on in the market, am I going to be the first one in line to go long off 38.85 today? I don't know. I really don't know. It's going to be something I'm going to have to sort of get a feel for intraday. At this point in the day, I'm not that eager to play longs off 38.85 today. It's just, I don't know. It doesn't seem like the smartest thing to be looking for at the open with so much uncertainty here in the market. Maybe PPI, retail sales, gives us a little bit more clarity here, but the long off 38.85 is a possible trade, right? It is a previous demand, and it is possible that it does bounce off that level. Am I going to be first in line for that trade? Not sure. That doesn't mean that I want to deter you away from maybe looking for it, right? That's a possible trade. Ideally, I'd like to see rejections of 38.85, turn these previous lows into a new supply, and I ideally like to see this downside move under 38.85 into that 38.40. That's the ideal move for me today. So that's what I'm looking for on the ES. 39.70, very, very clear rejections. Awesome trade off that level yesterday. 38.85, if we stay under that, looking for downside into 38.40. If we break 38.40 today, right? If we break 38.40 today, you do not have much here until this channel low at 3,800. All right. On the SPY, we go to the hourly chart. Actually, let's go 30-minute. Same exact story, right? Same exact story. This is where we shorted yesterday. We got the top on the SPY. Absolutely awesome downside move. That was sick. Congrats on that one. This was just a triple top at the 200 SMA. We moved back into it at close. We shorted it. I mean, it moved down again. Now, right? Where are we at? 385, right? You can see 385. As of right now, you are trading above 385. So if you take puts it open, if the SPY is above 385, you are exposing yourself to maybe a little bit of a short-term demand bounce. Is it real? Probably not, right? It's maybe a little bit of a dead cat bounce that maybe rolls over again. But if you short here, are you going to sit in this drawdown, right? Maybe it does this and then it starts to roll over again. Are you going to sit in that drawdown? Probably not. You're probably going to take a loss here and you're just taking a total lopsided risk to reward trade. So on the SPY, what we need to see for downside continuation, for confirmation, a drop under 385, start to see this turn into a rejection. If that can prove to us that it's going to reject, then we can try to play that flush under 38.85. So as of this morning, all right, the bulls are still holding on to this demand. This demand needs to get lost for downside continuation. If this demand holds on, there is a possibility of maybe a little bit of a dead cat bounce here. This is possibly where it could bounce into, around this 387, 387.20 area. All up in here is probably the first area I'd look for supply rejections. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the chart there. I'm going to probably look to see if the ES pops back or the SPY pops back into like these highs. Let me extend this to the left. All in this area, this high here, these lows here, this high, this previous low from yesterday. If you can get this, right? If you can get this, then maybe we can look for that. That could also be, that would also be a nice setup there for a downside move, right? Pop into 387.70 and then a little bit of a fade off that level. All right, so that's nice, right? Definitely looking for that. That would be maybe a little bit of a dead cat bounce for that downside move, but we can't short yet, right? If this is holding 385, we can't short it yet. If this is continuing to hold 385, you can see right here, it's sort of battling there. Would like to see it give up. Then we can look for that downside. All right, NASDAQ, another demand level you can see right here. It is maintaining for now. If we go to the hourly chart, this is your demand level that's holding for now. It's 12,140. This is a pretty big level. You can see this is the previous low, previous low, previous low, previous low, previous high, a little bit of a previous high there, previous high here. And so this is a big level here, 12,140 on the NASDAQ. As of now, this is where that sell-off has slowed down. This is a demand level, so we have to respect it. If the NASDAQ is to lose 12,140 today, I think you have a really nice trade into that 12,000, back to that 50 and 200 SMA. All right, that's if the NASDAQ falls under 12,140 today and turns it into a rejection. If that happens, I like that slide down into 12,000, into the 50 and the 200, right? If you lose the 200, then you're moving back into the 11,830, 11,850 area, right? So watching this on the NASDAQ, watching this 12,140, watching this 12,200 SMA, and then clearly the rejections are clear as day up here at 12,300, 12,350, right? Rejection, rejection, rejection. You do not long into this level. You do not long into this level. If this market rallies at open off this demand and you find yourself at 12.3 and you start FOMOing into calls here, you are asking to lose money, right? This is exactly what they want you to do. This is exactly what people did yesterday if they weren't paying attention to levels, if they were FOMOing into the NASDAQ as it was approaching 12.3 yesterday, right? They're looking at this. They're like, oh, it's a good trend. Let's keep buying calls. You know, why not? This is going up. Right? Obviously, trends up. I'm going to buy calls. I'm not paying attention to any supply levels. And then they start buying calls at supply, and the rest is history. So you do not buy calls at supply, right? It's as simple as that. So if you see a little pop this morning and you start to trade towards 12.3, please do not start buying calls in here, right? Doesn't make sense, right? That is very important to pay attention to today. So hourly chart, once again, previous highs, previous lows. You're holding that 12,140 again. Be careful of this supply above. It's very nasty, right? We can type that out. Nasty. That is nasty. So be careful up there, right? That's not where you want to go long. If you're trying to long this market, you could try off 12,140. It's up to you. I'm sort of looking to see if this turns into a rejection today. That would be really the move I want. So we'll see. We'll see how that sets up. All right, let's go to the Dow because the Dow is in focus today. The Dow's getting pretty hammered this morning. This is a huge. This is fourth and inches on the Dow here. You guys can see previous lows, previous lows, previous lows around this 31,800. This is fourth and inches on the Dow. If I go out to the 4-hour chart, you guys are going to see under 31,800 on the Dow, there is not much down here, right? There is not much down here under 31.8. You guys can see, look to the left of the chart. I mean, this is the previous low at 31.8. This is a previous low at 31.8. This is a triple bottom at 31.8. You lose this 31.8. There could be some slide here. Next previous high is probably around 31,000. I mean, you got pretty much like 800 points of sort of nothingness here, guys. So watch this 31.8 on the Dow today. If we start to lose that, right, not much support down below. And this is just a really textbook stair step to the downside. Look at this. Wow. This is actually really textbook stair step. Look at this stair step to the downside. That could be, right? The next move would be maybe something like this. And then a bounce here, another stair step, right? Something like that. I do not have a smoke detector going off, so I don't know what you're hearing. Maybe you're hearing the mouse click. So yeah, watch that stair step to the downside. Watch that 31.8 level on the NASDAQ or on the Dow. Russell. Big level here on the Russell. You guys can see right here. 1732, right? 1732 right here, right here. So if we lose 1732, 1730 on the Russell, that could be some downside action. So 1732, watch that downside move right here. 1730, 1730. That's clearly the level to watch today. You can see today it is attempting to hold on right here, right here. Big demand level here. Does it do a little fake bounce? It very well could, right? You can see this very aggressive pre-market downside. So does the pre-market downside sort of get, do we fill that pre-market downside a little bit? Yeah, it's very possible, right? It's very possible that pre-market downside is a little bit extended, right? You guys know it's pre-market. Sometimes this is a little bit of a fake. We could get a little dead cat bounce for people that are getting too aggressive. Maybe a dead cat bounce into this right here, this 1770, maybe something like this, right? And then you start to fade it. That's really what you want to see if you want to short the Russell. You want to see that dead cat bounce because you want to get some more margin You want to get some more margin on your risk reward. You want to get a little bit more risk reward action here rather than shorting, already at these lows. So you want to see some of these dead cat bounces and then start to see where they could fail. On the Russell, I think it's around that 1770. On the SPY, I think it could fail around this 387, 388, right? This previous low here. That could be a failure point on a little dead cat bounce. The ES could fail around this 3900, 3910 area, right? If we start to pop into this previous low from yesterday around 3910, this could be a failure point for a little dead cat bounce. And then on the NASDAQ, maybe it's around this 20 SMA, right? Right around these previous highs here in that 20 SMA. That could be the failure point on the NASDAQ. Right around this 12, right around that 12.2 actually. That's that 12.2 level, isn't it? That's a big level there, 12.2. So I'm actually going to leave a line there right here. If I go to the 30-minute. Right here, you can see previous lows. Maybe watch that 20 SMA in 12.2. All right, that could be a nice watch as well. All right. So that's the futures. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Yeah. Watch 12.2 on the NASDAQ for rejections, 12.140 for demand, 38.85 demand, maybe 39.10 supply, right? In the very short term on the SPY, 387, 388 for supply, a little bit of a retest of these lows, and then watch that 385 demand down there. All right. That's the futures. Hopefully that helps. Let's get into some banks here. Let's look at the XLF. So you guys know that 33 level was huge on the XLF. Look at this little retest and look at this little flag break. Man, this was sort of wish I was sort of eyeing this yesterday. Look at this. Previous lows, break and retest, gorgeous stuff. Break, retest, previous low, retest, rejection of the previous lows, really clean stuff. Bear flag, look at this. Damn, boom, right through that flag. Really nice stuff. Banks under 33, I consider weak, right? In my mind, if XLF is under 33, I think banks weak, right? That's my instant thought. So if the XLF stays under 33, I think we talked about this level. This looks like where you're coming down to, right around this 30. I mean, the lows are really like down here, to be quite honest. The lows are down at like this 30. So if the XLF continues to be weak, you could see this double bottom low around 30, 30.3, right? That would sort of be your target if this downside does continue today. Break and retest of the previous support, really clean stuff. What I would look for today, right? I would look to see, does 3150 turn into a rejection point? Go to the 5-minute chart. Look at, it's not a coincidence right now. Look at what's happening as we speak. Previous lows here from Monday at 31.5. Look at the rejection, right? Look at that. So really nice stuff, right? Previous lows into a rejection as of this morning. So if the XLF stays under 31.5, what does that mean to me? That means I am looking for Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan to the downside. Goldman Sachs. Really ugly morning here on Goldman Sachs. This was another fantastic rejection on GS of 326. You can see we rejected it here on Monday. We tried to push back into it yesterday. We rejected it again, and look at this downside move. This 314 level, right? This is not a surprise what GS is doing as of right now. GS is simply just turning every previous low into a rejection. So previous low into a rejection. Previous low from Friday into a rejection. Previous Friday lows into a double top rejection. Now, what are we looking for today? Previous lows around 314, 315 into a rejection. If we start to see this set up on GS today, if we see reject Monday lows, I am looking for that downside move. If I go to the 4-hour chart, this 314 level is also a previous high here. If we get stuck under that, I mean, I'm targeting this low here on GS, probably around 290, if this really wants to continue. So watching GS today, without a doubt, seeing if it turns Friday's or yesterday's lows into a rejection. If that happens, Monday's lows. If we turn Monday's lows into a rejection, I'm all over this thing today. So watching that. JP Morgan, really clear level here on JP Morgan to be watching. If we go to the 4-hour chart, you guys can see we rejected that. We flushed under that 136, bounced off 128 demand. 136, the previous highs, turned into a rejection once again, right? Very clear, very easy. Look at the channel, right? We're now rejecting 136. If JP Morgan is to drop under 128, right? If JP Morgan is to drop under 128, I'm looking for that at least 200 SMA 125, maybe even 123, which is, right? Look at this chart. I am targeting this previous high over here. So if we start to slip under this 128, I would be targeting this 123. All right. So that is something I'll definitely be watching today. You guys can see under that 128, if we slip that, watching for that into the 200 SMA or that 124 target. All right. That's JP Morgan. And that's the banks. And now we're about to get into PPI. Yeah, Fed funds sort of went higher on Monday. The higher ZQ goes, the more the lower interest rate hikes are technically, right? That's like sort of the guys. I see the time. All right, your time is the same as my time, right? We're on the same time limit, right? Right, we're on the same. Every clock is the exact same. All right, we're all here. I see it. All right. Unless your clock's ahead of mine. All right, so here comes PPI retail sales. We will see if let's see if there's any movement here. All right, here we go. Let's see what happens. I know. I'm so biased. It's unbelievable. It's so sickening, isn't it? All right. Not seeing much action as of yet. Little pop to the upside off the demand. PPI minus 0.1 versus expectation of 0.3. So PPI is actually lower than expected. That's sort of bullish. Core CPI 0. Yeah, PPI is lower than expected on both the core and the normal month over month. But there's so many other things going on that I don't know. All right, I'm not long the market because PPI is good. That is not how you trade. All right, I'm not like, oh, PPI is lower than expected. Calls. All right, it's not enough. So yeah, PPI year over year 4.6 versus 5.4, down quite a bit. Core PPI month over month 0% versus 0.4%. And then PPI month over month, not the core, is negative, actually, minus 0.1% versus expectation of 0.3%. So, yeah, retail sales for February, month over month, down 0.4 versus expectation of 0.3, negative 0.3. So, negative 0.4 versus negative 0.3 on the retail sales. So, data's sort of, from the PPI standpoint, sort of bullish. Does it make me want to buy calls? Not really. Let's see how the market reacts to it, obviously. That's really all we can do. Let me see if I can pop up. You probably can't see this. So, go to the SPY, right? Go to the SPY on the TOS, guys. Go to live news, and it's all right here for you if you guys got TOS open. But retail sales pretty much as expected, slightly down, and core PPI and PPI down month over month and year over year. All right. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. Not really anything. It looks very similar to yesterday. Really no reaction on the market. And really just we watch the levels, right? We just watch the levels. That's all we could do. That's all we could do. All right, so let's continue. Yeah, nothing really moved. There's no movement here. Yeah, 387 long-term trend. I'm not sure I'm so worried about that long-term trend, but yeah, it's probably right around there. Yeah. I don't know. Depends on how you draw it. I'm more focused on these supply levels here today. 387, 385. That's what I'm focused on. All right. Let's continue. So let's go Tesla. Let's get into Tesla. Yeah, Tesla's holding that 179 again. So you can see here, you go to the hourly chart. Yeah, a lot of things going on. I agree with you there, Vince. Yeah, I agree with you because your name. 30-minute chart, Tesla. This is what we're watching today. So this actually needs to be turned green because we are trading above this. This was a retest level yesterday that we held on to. And we're holding it again, right? This 179 level is holding again. So we can't short Tesla into 179. We can't, right? It doesn't make sense. We have to wait for that 179 to turn into a rejection. If this 179 can turn into a rejection, I would look for that trade back into 174. But as of right now, this is a retest that is holding. You can see right here, previous high. And if I go down to the 1-minute chart, this was a retest yesterday, right? Look at this. This is where I tried to play upside yesterday. I tried this upside right here. And I got a piece, right? I was going long off 180, 179 area here on Tesla yesterday, looking for that pop. I was expecting more than this because the market was pushing at this time, but we didn't get it. We just traded sideways for a long, long time until eventually we got, sort of a bigger breakout later in the day. Didn't catch this, unfortunately, but you guys can clearly see this 179 level is very important. You can see yesterday it held all day. You can see here in the pre-market, it's holding again. So we can't short into it, right? Shorting into it does not work. It has not worked the last few days, so let's not short into it today. If we can break under that, then I like that, right? If we can see that turn into a rejection, then I like it. A little bit cautious on Tesla to the upside because of this right here. I'll show you guys the level that I am watching here on Tesla and why I'm a little bit concerned. It's right into this 182.50. This 182.50 was a you-know-what yesterday. It was very difficult to get above. So this 182 rejection point here on Tesla, if I go down to the 1-minute chart from yesterday, this was a very difficult level to break. It was like eventually it did squeeze through. You can see right here. Eventually we got the squeeze through in the hold, but this was a really difficult level up here at 182.50. Eventually, yes, it did get above and continued. So I am going to watch, right? And look what just happened this morning. Look what just happened at 182 this morning, right? Right at 182. So here's my levels on Tesla. 182 supply, 179 demand. Let's see if we break either side, and then we look for a trade. All right. NVIDIA. Yeah, I mean, what's going to happen here? I'm very interested. NVIDIA triple topping again. It did a triple top here. It fell off, and then it rallied. It's doing another pretty major triple top up here. Look at this rejection point on NVIDIA. Rejections. 242, 240. Very clear rejections here on NVIDIA. I definitely am interested in playing this downside. When is it going to come in? I don't know yet. I got to clean up this daily chart maybe a little bit for you. I know it's a little bit sloppy, but I really am targeting this really targeting this gap fill, right? Really targeting this gap fill down to around like 206, to be quite honest. That's if the market really does fall. Risk reward for that type of play, right? If I want to target the gap fill, where is my risk reward the best on a swing trade? It's really like around here, right? That's really where my risk reward is at its highest, right? This triple top at 240, 242. So keeping an eye on that. We'll see if it breaks under 230, 250. If it does, 228, 230. If it breaks under that, you got 223. And then under 223 is where the party starts, right? 223. If you break under that, that's where the NVIDIA party really starts here. That's where this gap starts to really step in on NVIDIA. So eyeing this one, I think there's going to be opportunity there. I just got to wait for the right timing. All right, Apple. I like this. I like what I'm starting to see here on Apple. This 151 rejection coming in this morning is getting me very interested. Yeah, this is potentially nice here today. Apple 151 rejections, previous highs, right? Look how clear this is. Previous highs, previous highs, previous lows, previous lows, previous little consolidation. Look at this wick rejection here on Apple. Under 151, literally right under 151. So if Apple remains under 151, I am looking for that downside move today on Apple. Back probably into that 200 SMA. I'll be a little bit careful of these wick lows around this 150, right? You might want to maybe wait for 150 to break to be really confident on this, because there is some wick lows at that 150. So you might want to wait for that. But I would like to see if 151 turns into a rejection. If it does, I would look for that break under 150 and that slip into that 200 again, 147. Netflix. Yeah, 300 rejection on Netflix is looking juicy. Look at this this inability to get over 300, right? Netflix has tried 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times to get over 300, and it just simply cannot get over. So at some point, the path of least resistance has got to be down here, in my opinion. If we continue to reject 300 5 times now, I'm assuming you're going to try to, make new lows here. And the new lows could come into this channel low around 280, right? This is a channel low around 280. Channel lows, channel lows, channel lows, channel lows. That's right around this 280. So if I see this thing break like this little weekly low here, maybe around 289, 290s, a little bit cautious of this wick, but ignoring it for now. If we start to slip under this 289 area, I might try to target that 280. So, yeah, watching that Netflix. The spreads are crazy on Apple. The spreads on Apple are probably the tightest out there. I mean, unless something's changed that I haven't seen, but spreads on Apple are typically 1 cent. That's probably the tightest spread you're going to find out there. All right, Meta. Yeah, Meta 190, 189 really. If we drop back under 189, I'm interested here on Meta, maybe for that downside. But yesterday it was a nice hold, right? Yesterday we had a nice break and retest of this previous high. Nice little upside move. Congrats if you guys caught that one. That was a nice little move yesterday. But today, right, 195 rejections. Watch out for that 189. If we fall back below this triple top, you guys can see right here, triple top right here. If we fall back below that triple top, that could be some juice right there. So, yeah. Yeah, if you're looking at an options chain in the pre-market, guys, it's not the true options chain. The options chain is not correct in the pre-market. So 189, previous triple top. Look for that rejection of 189 today if we fall back under it. And, yeah, let's see what happens at 189 today on Meta. All right, TSM. So I'm still sort of eyeing this bear flag here. I think it's still setting up. Little bit bouncy off that 87, but look at where it rejected, right? Look at what TSM did on the rejection. It broke the uptrend, Right, so let's just remove this and put an uptrend. It broke this little uptrend on TSM that it's been holding. It broke back below, and it's turning that rejection back, or turning that that uptrend back into a rejection point. That's sort of interesting to me, right? To see a trend break, see that trend turn into resistance, and now we're making this little lower high move. If the market is weak today, I'm going to keep an eye on that TSM break of 87. If that happens, I don't think there's much support here under 87 until that 83, that 200 SMA. So watching to see what TSM does here. Obviously, chip stocks need to lose some strength because they have been very strong. All right. What else do I want to look at today? What else can I think of? We looked at banks. I mean, obviously, guys, you can take a look at like Bank of America if you guys want to trade that stock. That thing's really weak under 30, right? Bank of America under 30, really not much support under there. You could keep an eye on something like that if you want to trade those smaller banks back under 30. You got stocks like Wells Fargo, which are breaking down. I'm going to stick to the big ones, GS and JP Morgan. They're just a little bit more comfortable trading those than the smaller ones. Let's go into what you guys want to look at. Yeah, you could look at that FR on First Republic again. I don't know. Maybe that starts to slide again today. That's possible, right? FRC, yeah, starting to slide a little bit. That could maybe slide again, right? Yeah, Google, Amazon just haven't really made me very interested lately. Oh, yeah, gold. That's what I wanted to look at, gold. Yeah, GLD. Oh, it's actually pushing through. Okay. Yeah, so I would watch gold today. The reason for that is gold is catching strength. Obviously, there's more demand for gold when the banking system is getting a little bit scary. So watch GLD today. See how this trades. This could be opportunity. I like this to potentially move over. If we get a break of this previous high, which is exactly 178. Hold on. Yeah, 178.85. If we get over 178.85 on GLD, which I think we're just about getting over right now, if we get over that 178.85, if we can maintain this as support today, I think you can possibly look for more upside here on GLD. Maybe back into this like 180, 181 area. So yeah, definitely watching gold here. GLD, gold ETF. Going to see what happens at 178.85. That'll be my little trigger there. All right. Let's pull up the ticker form real quick. If you guys could, we got 1,700 people here. We're hitting new numbers every day. So thank you guys so much for being here. First of all, I very much appreciate that. Keeps me motivated, keeps me going. If you could, take 1 second out of your day and press the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Keep helping pump the stock. Keep helping grow the channel. Coin, Costco, Target, Enphase, no earnings plays. Whoever this is, I love you. All right. We'll throw AMD in there as well. All right. So, Coinbase. Yeah, Coinbase, big rejection of that supply. Holy crap, 66. Wow. Look at that rejection of Coinbase. So, watch that. That's a big rejection of Coinbase. Watch that 58 area on coin there. That's the demand. Watch 58. Costco. If Costco breaks under 470, then I think you got yourself some possible juice. So you guys can see here. Let's go to the 4 hour. That was that 470 demand that we talked about yesterday, Chef, on stream. If we break under this 470 with the Dow weakness, I'd look for that 450. But watch that 470 on cost. Target. Yeah, Target's been pretty damn weak. The trade's sort of over. Short here, just like every other time. Just sort of sliding. It's sort of a messy chart here. I would only be interested up here. I'm no longer interested in Target. I wouldn't be either. I would be, if you didn't catch it up here, you sort of missed the move. End phase. Yeah, end phase. Look at these 220 rejections on end phase. Except end phase has been sideways for like a month. So, yeah, you can see, 220 rejections are nice, but end phase has been pretty damn sideways. So just be careful of that. Maybe look for like this 200 level really to break before getting too interested. You probably don't want to battle with the 200 here on end phase. But that is a nice 220 rejection. AMD, yeah, see if AMD gets back under 86 today. That's what I would look for. If AMD turns 86 back into a supply, I would look for downside right here. Actually, look what it's doing right now. Look at what it's doing right now. Look at this AMD rejection that might come in. Previous 86 support, look at that 86 rejection right now. That's what I'd look for in AMD. Look for 86 to turn into a rejection. Yeah, a little SPY slip under demand, right? You can see there, a little SPY slip under demand, little rejection of that 38.85. That's the level, guys. We talked about it, right? That's the level, 38.85. Make sure to pay attention to it. If we do not get back over that 38.85, then, yeah. All right, guys. That's all I got for you. Hope you have a fantastic day. I hope you guys enjoy another day of trading. Be safe out there. Pay attention to the futures levels. Can't say it enough. So crucial. Press the like button if you could. If we can get to maybe 1,000 likes, that would be nice. I'll wait. Well, 1,000 likes maybe. How do we think? What do we think? Yeah. I mean, you're messing with some demand on the NASDAQ here. I would be a little cautious on this NQ. Look at these wicks coming in. Yeah, you got some demand stepping up. You got to wait for this to really give up, I think, to get a clean trade today. Look at this little. Yeah. All right. Have a great day. Press the like button. Subscribe to the channel. I just did cost Steve. I'm sorry. I can't do it again. It's in the video if you go back. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.